So I took Taekwondo when I was younger, and part of that Taekwondo was sparring. And truthfully, I didn't do sparring much because I didn't like it. I mean, it's just like boxing but with pads, and I was like 6, 7, or 8, and I just didn't like it because it was like a very thin pad, and when I'd get punched, you could really feel the punches. So I wasn't a big fan. But to this day, I still love my first sparring event because of how left field it was. So it started when I was picked up from school by my dad. He came to pick me up, and he had already had all the sparring equipment in the back. And we were already late. I mean, he wanted me to go to this first sparring event and he wanted to watch me fight. And we were already running late, like 10 minutes. So I missed all the instructions. I had never been there. I'd never been told the instructions. I was never told the instructions. So I had to quickly put on all this gear. I had to put on my uniform in the back seat, which was like a blue shirt, and then a traditional like Taiwanese or Taekwondo robe. And I had to put on my, I think, yellow belt at the time. I'm not sure. But I had to put it on. And I put it on relatively quickly. I had to have my dad help me because there's like laces on the back of this, like, padding. So you at least have some protection. And I wore it and I was essentially tossed into the mat where our instructor at the time, his name was Instructor Andre. He was like navigating all the kids who were fighting, and he grabbed me essentially and said, "Okay, you're gonna go fight this kid." And then he broke up like a current fight that was going on and moved around the other kids to like be more equally positioned. But in doing so, that guy put me up against this like tiny kid. I know this is okay, this is not gonna sound real. This is gonna sound completely fake. I know how this sounds. But this kid, I was like 6, 7, or 8, so I was older than he was. He was maybe like 5, maybe 5 or 6. He was half my size definitely, but he was a red belt. And for those who don't know, a red belt is the belt before a black belt. So there I was, a yellow belt. Which, okay, I should probably clarify. A yellow belt is the belt after a white belt. So there I was, a yellow belt, going up against the red belt. And I was not told the instructions. But I was like, oh, wait, this guy's half my size. And he's younger than me. I could kick his ass. So then he like he came over to us and he was like, okay, you guys ready? And I was like, yeah, I'm ready. And the other kid was like, yeah, I'm ready. And he put his hand up and said, go. And this kid, he was kicking my ass. So I was panicking because I was getting punched hard by a young kid who was half my size. And I was like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. And I was getting beat. So I immediately didn't know what to do. So I just punched the kid in his left eye with my right fist. And then he started crying. And I was told, oh, you're not supposed to punch. And I was never told not to punch. I was getting my ass kicked, so I punched this kid in his left eye. And then he started to cry. And, and then he had to break up our fight because I had beaten him. So he was crying and I was just there, standing there awkwardly. I didn't know what to do. So the kid had to get off the mat and he went to go get some water. And I was just standing there all awkwardly. And I don't remember what happened after that. I think I might have gone up against someone else. But I got my ass kicked. I didn't know until later, but my dad who was watching, he told me later on, like almost a decade later, that when the instructor had broken us up, he noticed that my old instructor Andre, he had started to laugh at the situation. He had put us in, and I had put us in. Also, it was his fault. Also, it wasn't only mine. He put me up against the fucking red belt. That's not fair. So, I don't know. It was just. It's still something I think about. It was such an unfair match. Yellow belt against the red belt. I don't know why he did that. I guess he hated me. He hated my youthfulness. I don't know. It's something funny I like to remember from time to time. The kid was a good fighter though. He was half my size. I just punched stronger, I guess. I didn't know we were supposed to keep kicking. But yeah, that's it. I just love this story. And I thought it would be funny to share.